We're going to begin the laptop search at the Dell.com website. I know that we have a link posted for the TSCC one, but I want us to go with this a little bit fresh. I want to show you the different techniques that I will normally use to search. I actually have a Dell Vostro 1710 laptop. So I've used Dell for the last 2 years that I've used a laptop, and I seem to go through them quite fast, but I'm on mine pretty much 7 days a week, 24/7. I sleep a little bit in between. So remember that when you're purchasing a laptop, there's a lot of things besides the minimum requirements of what your specs have to be. It's wear and tear, and that's a lot of money. I know that we're students. I'm a student myself. I take online college classes. And money is always tight in those situations. So I try to tell you not to go out and get the cheapest. Try not to go out and get the most expensive. Try to find somewhere in between. But make sure you go a little bit above the minimum requirements. I know sometimes that's hard to do, but you have to just budget the money and do that. The outside exterior, I always like to, I know it's hard to look at a website and look at something. I like to physically hold it in my hand. So I'll visit several places such as a Staples, a Best Buy, I want to say Walmart, but that's okay too. Just know that certain places, when they have these cheaper deals on computers, notebooks, desktops, it really doesn't matter. Normally those are manufactured specifically for that company using cheaper parts. So I try to watch those deals, especially if it's a Walmart. Sometimes Best Buy. You really just have to do a little bit of research and go for something that is a good quality, not the cheapest quality. So we have specifications that we have to meet. You maneuver on this website. You see it's Dell.com. It says for home, for small and medium business, for public sector. It does have the higher education site, for a large enterprise. Now I'm going to go at this a different route because I've actually seen cheaper deals sometimes when you just go in as a regular user and just see what they've got out. So it's always about compare prices, compare prices. So we know that we're looking for a laptop. So I'm going to first just bring up and see what they've got on their website. And they've got, you can narrow your laptop search. They come up. This looks interesting. Select laptop starting at $499. So to me that kind of catches my eye. I'll scroll down a little bit. There's these new mini ones that are out. I actually have looked at one of those, but you see the screen is a little bit too small for our computer specs. But I'm still out on those. I'm not really for sure what to think about those. So we know that we're going to have a 15-inch screen anyway, so this is about our range. So we're still about $399 there. Nice 17-inch, $649. We still know we're just not looking. We're just kind of looking around at the process, see what all they've got here. Gaming laptops, anytime you see that, then they're built with better specs. Gamers require a massive amount of processing and memory. So, take a look. These are probably a little bit sturdier. Wow, they've got a little bit better price tag on them. So, let's go back up. I want to first start with the $499 laptops. I just want to kind of search and get an idea about what's going on. Well, now I'm going to have to stay in. I'm going to budget myself for about $1,200. CNS, we have to have certain kind of laptops. So I know already before I look that that's kind of the range I want to stay at. So you can see they've got it listed here. We'll start on the left-hand column. 250 gigabyte hard drive. Wow, that meets our requirements. And it says DVD quality movie, so we know it's got a DVD player, but we have to have a DVD burner. So we're going to scroll down a little bit, and this is where the money starts adding up. It has dual core 2.0 gigahertz, and our specifications were 2.2 around, but we could probably get by with that with still meeting the minimum. But look at here. Look at this operating system all the way across the board. Remember what I said, Vista Home Basic Edition. That's got to be upgraded. That's not acceptable. And look at the bits. 64-bit, we know that's out of the question. So we're going to have to stay in this 32-bit range right here. So we know, looks like the bigger, badder models come with the 64 pin instead of the, or 64-bit instead of the 32-bit. I'm not sidetracked looking. I'm actually a shopper. I don't know if y'all are, but I sure love to shop. So let's get back. We know that these meet our screen requirements 15.6, and let me tell you, a bigger screen makes that much difference. So if you can spare the extra money, the 17-inch is sure nice. We do have, let's see, we've got DVD burners. We're looking in these two columns because remember the 64-bit's out of our range, so we're going to concentrate on these two columns. Memory. Memory is a very funny thing. There's all kinds of different words and acronyms thrown in there, but we have a minimum list that we're supposed to go by, so let's kind of stick with that. I still recommend going a minimum of 4 gigabyte. That is me. Everything is coming out bigger and badder, so I like to have at least 4 gig on whatever I've got. Memory helps it run. We both have 250 gigs, so I'm narrowing down to this column right here, video card. Now we had a minimum video card that we had to have, so we may have to bump this one up a little bit. Regular audio is fine. We didn't have any special requirements. It does have a networking card. These are the little half mini cards. I'm not too happy with those, but we can go. That'll be fine. It has a 6-cell battery. I like that a little bit better, a little bit more in the price. Color doesn't matter to me. Look at that, 1-year limited hardware warranty, and we're supposed to get a 3-year warranty. So we're going to come down here. There's also a product details page, but we're actually come down here and we're going to say, you know what, we want to customize this because we're going to have to add different options. Look, we have an option of jet black, but that's going to cost us an extra $40, or ruby red. I like the red. I'm going to go with the red. So, got the red there. Let's see what other options it gives us. Software and accessories. And just to take a look and see what all they got right here. We don't really need, it'd be nice to have a printer. It's always nice to have a little mouse with a laptop. Trust me, you don't have to have the fancy little wireless ones. They are nice, but a regular USB one will work too. Security software. Your Windows Vista comes with some, and we have videos, as you've seen, about malware free, or the trial version. We have free AVG antivirus, and Vista Business Edition, or any of the Vistas, come with pretty amped up. So I'm not going to go for the security software. I detest McAfee. I really don't like McAfee at all. Let's see, they don't give us any other options. Let's say continue customizing. It'll go on. Yeah, see, look, McAfee pops up right there. But they're also offering Trend Micro and Norton. Now, if you don't want to do the AVG free, these are extra securities on there. But let me tell you something. Different techs are pretty biased on this. You need one antivirus program on your computer. No, now we have to have something for spyware and something for malware, but they will conflict with each other if you have 2 antivirus programs on there turned on at the same time, and it will eventually cause problems and different things happening to your system. So make sure that you uninstall one, because most of these systems are going to come with a little trial before you install something else. You have to make sure that they're turned off when you go to install different things. So you need to do a little research before you're going to install something anyways. But just make sure that you don't have 2 antiviruses run at the same time, or you don't download while one of them is already installed or up and running.